Hello everybody. By this video, I am going to demonstrate how do we migrate a web application which is developed on Spring Boot to HTTPS. So to demonstrate, I will create a simple web application using Spring Boot and let it be HTTP, and then I will migrate that HTTP application to HTTPS. Okay, let's get into demonstration. So the first step is we are going to create a Spring Boot project using Spring Initializer. Okay, so in the interest of time, I have selected all the dependencies and the required project metadata with the entries in it. So Java, and then the project is going to be a Maven project, and the Spring Boot version is 2.7.7. And this is the group name, this is my artifact name, and this is the project name. The packaging type is jar, and Java version is 17. And the dependencies required for this are Spring Web, Spring Security, and Timeleaf template engines. Okay, now let me remove this one which was open generated last time. Okay, okay, it has got created. So now let me unzip this. Okay, so when it's unzipped, the zip file is not required. So now let's move to Eclipse, import existing Maven project. So it should be Spring HTTPS migration. Select folder, finish. Yeah, it has got imported. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this application is going to be a HTTP application with a home page and a greeting page. Okay, so the home page, the user is going to enter his username and he's going to be greeted on the response page, which is called the greetings page. So we'll have to create a templates. So it should be created in SRC main resources under the templates folder. So I'm going to create there one HTML file. Okay, let it be home. I'm naming that as home, which will act as a home page for me. And I'm going to use Timeleaf template. So I'm including that namespace here. So let me maximize it. Timeleaf.org. So now I can use this. Now let me create a form. Method is equal to post. Action is equal to, I'm passing this to greetings page. Then closing the form. So let's have username, and then I will create a text box. And then a submit button. Hit this button to greet. So the action will be moving to the next page called greetings. So now let's create a greetings page. In interest of time, let me copy this and then just change it to greetings. And greetings, I don't want it to be method as post. I don't want form at all. I just want to get a greet. So I am using time leaf. So hello, and then the username. Sorry, I have to concatenate. So I'm going to send an attribute called name from the controller, which I'm going to create now. Welcome to HTTP world. Okay, it's very simple. So I'll have to write a controller, and from that controller, I'll have to create a model object with the attribute name name. So let me create that. So let me write as web controller. So it should be annotated with a marker annotation controller. And then I'll write a method which will return a string. So the return should be two greetings. So now I'm going to make a post request mapping. So the URL would be greetings. And then over here I'll have to send the request parameter. Sorry, I had have pressed Control P. String. So to avoid any issues, let me copy the name, username, and username would be here, and then a model object. So inside the model object, I am going to set an attribute. So the name should be this one. Okay, the attribute name should be this one. So I'm going to get that from username. Okay, so controller is done. So the next step is we'll have to make a global security configuration. So that would be created with a configuration to allow all the requests to this home page and the greeting page just for demonstration purpose. In real world, we don't do that, but still, for demonstration purpose, I'm going to create a security configuration class. So web security configuration. And this is going to be a configuration class, and hence it has to be annotated with a marker annotation configuration at configuration, and then public security filter chain. So this is going to be a bean. So this is required because as we have included the security dependencies in pom.xml. So pom.xml, we have a Spring Boot starter security. So based on that, the Spring Boot would be scanning for certain classes, and if those classes are identified, the Spring Boot would be injecting a login page for it, even for home page and greetings page. It doesn't care about that at all. It will completely secure the application by giving a login page. So hence I'm going to customize that configuration by creating a bean which is of type security filter chain. So I'll have to import that. I think I had spelled it wrongly. Yeah, it is here. And then filter chain. So this will accept a parameter called HTTP security. Okay, so now what I'll have to do is, so this is giving a warning. Okay, so it's okay. So now what should we do is HTTP dot, I'm going to authorize request, and then using ant matches to all the URLs just for demonstration purpose, and then permit them all. I'm not giving dot authenticate because I don't want to authenticate the request to home page and the greetings page. So now I'll have to return a filter chain dot build. So now I should include an throws declaration of exception. Okay, so this is just for demonstration purpose. In real well, we don't do it. In interest of time, I'm doing this. So now all the requests should be allowed. And okay, let's run this application. So our starting point is here. Run as Java application. Okay, I want to maximize the console. Okay, that's started. Okay, it has started. Let me open incognito window and then say localhost 8080. Okay, why? So why this error? Now let me solve this. So now if you check, nothing is on here. Okay. Okay, so this is because we didn't have any view mappings or any view controllers mapped against this, mapped against the root URL of the application. So when I say root URL, this is the one. Say that when I want to, why not we try this home? No, it won't work because there is no view mapping done here. So to do that, you'll have to create a class. It is, let's say it is a view mapping configuration. Okay, otherwise I can say it as view configuration. Okay, so here, and this should implement a class interface called web MVC configurer, and then, and this should be marked with a marker annotation at configuration, and then we'll have to do override a method which is a void type add view controllers, and this will have an argument called view controller registry. So let's have it a VCR. So it is a override. I'm going to override this method, and then so now VCR dot add view controller of. So my pattern would be just a slash. So this is a root application URL, that is localhost 8080. So I'm mapping that with a view name called home, right? Now what will happen is Spring Boot will be mapping this URL, root application URL, with a view name called home. And whenever I hit localhost 8080, the home, the templates which is available in templates folder would be loaded. So on the same way, I am going to create a view controller for the pattern greetings, and I'm setting the view name as greetings. Okay, so now I'll also set something to home also. So in the interest of time, I'll just copy this and put it here. So yeah, it will be home and it will be mapped against home. So this is at configuration. So when you reboot the application, all this configuration will be taken care, and now the issue will be disappearing. Okay, so let me rerun the application. We maximize the application. So to show that, yeah, it has started. So now let me go to the same incognito mode and then say localhost 8080. So now you get this page, username and all this. Okay. So now I'll type in my name. Okay. And hit this button. Now again an error. I'll explain why is it. Okay. Greetings. Okay. Okay. I think the log level is not completely saying. So let me, I need some logging level for the package org.springframework.security is equal to debug, so that I can understand clearly what's the issue going on. So now let me restart the application again. Okay. Now let me go back to the home page. Okay, some error has gone. Okay, see here. Now I get a full bunch of logs because I have instructed boot to give me the debug logs for org spring framework.security, and hence all the logs have come in. Now the problem is clearly given invalid CSRF token. Okay, so now let me explain what is CSRF. So CSRF is an expansion of cross-site request forgery. Okay, let me give a brief explanation about it. So CSRF is like cross request forgery token. So let me make a small drawing here. Paint or PPT would be better. So let it be blank. Let me remove this. Say that I will take a shape. Okay. Say that this is a web browser. So this is going to our browser, and I'll make another one. So this is going to be your server application. Okay, so here it is Spring HTTPS migration. So that is the application. So that is a web application. So this is going to be any web application. Now a request goes from the browser to the server application. That is a web application. So this during this request, say that there is a account transfer happening between that. Say that you are transferring a amount to a person by logging into a banking application, and then you are sending the amount and then the account number. So you send two parameters on the post request. Say that the account number and the let me insert a text box here. Okay, text box is here. Say that you send post request params such as account number and the amount. Okay, so say that you are sending these two parameters to the server to transfer an amount to an account number who is the beneficiary whom you know. So what will happen is, say that a hacker or somebody intrudes this into the application. So what will happen is, so the intruder would insert his account number, let's say hacker account number, and the amount. So now what will happen is the amount will be getting transferred to this account number. So this is a kind of cross-site forgery attack. Not a kind, this is a cross-site forgery attack. in a simple terms, to just for an understanding, might be it is very simple saying that account number and amount in a post request parameter, but for an understanding, so take this scenario. Okay, so now what will happen is, to avoid this cross site forgery request forgery attack, so we can use this CSRF token. What is the CSRF token is, like when a request comes from a browser to the server application will generate a random security number along with this request. So say that underscore CSRF. Okay, it will be like this. So this random number would be generated by the server and be sent to the browser back again. And when the user makes a request again, makes a transfer request again, say that now he has given the account number details and the amount. Okay, and it goes to the server sends back a CSRF token. Okay, now browser again requests back with the same CSRF token. Server application will be validating whether the same token which is sent by the server was received again at the server side. And this will ensure that no other persons are intruding into it. So it is a the random generated number which the hacker won't be able to generate, because the hacker, to gain of the amount transferred to his account number, he need to have a underscore CSRF parameter which he cannot guess. So this is on a high level what is CSRF and how we can avoid it and how the Spring Boot is avoiding it. So now why this request is not allowed, because we have a security dependency included in our application dependency, and there is a invalid CSRF token being sent or the token is not sent. So the security is throwing, the Spring Boot is throwing as an error that when you make a post request from a home page, the token is not as expected. By default, a token is generated, but it is not generated. Okay. So what will happen is, now how to avoid this error, not avoid, how to remove this error and how to have the CSRF token generated. Okay, so now what we do here is, before that, let me go to the browser and let me give function F12 and let me make a request now to show you that there is no CSRF parameters. So now I think it will not show that. Let me but try. You see here payload. In the payload we are sending only username. There is no CSRF token parameter being sent, and hence Spring Boot is giving this error. So to avoid this, let me go to the home page, and then here I'll include the timeleaf th colon action, but it should be used this way. You have to use the @ symbol and then curly brace. If this is included, automatically the CSRF parameter would be included. Let me stop this, run the application again. Okay, it started, and then let me move on to the browser. So now localhost 8080. So now I say Ashok. Now that error is gone. Now let me show you the parameters. So this parameter is additionally included, right? Okay, username is Ashok and then CSRF. This is the token being passed, and whenever the other request comes in, the browser has to send this parameter with other request, and only then Spring will be allowing that request. Okay, now you are not seeing that error at all. Invalid CSRF token or invalid session ID, all that has gone. Okay, now this is a simple HTTP application. Now I'm going to migrate this to a HTTPS application. Okay. So for that, actually, the first step is we'll have to generate a key. key pair or generate RSA key, and then use that to be configured as a self-signed certificate for this application. So, here there are two types of certificate. So when I say HTTPS, it is a secure socket layer. Okay, so to secure your application with SSL, so there are two ways. One is to have a self-signed certificate, and the other one is generating a certificate and signed it and getting it signed by a certified authority. So there are two things, two options like which we have to use. Like if your web application is an internal facing application, that means it is not exposed to the outside world and it is used within an closed organization, we can go for self-signed certificate. Also, if you are in development mode and it is the you can use the self-signed certificate. Okay, so even in the closed organization, like internal facing application, that is internal facing web application, people are using the certificate signed by a certified authority, but most of them use self-signed certificate because it's not exposed to the outside world and it is also within the closed group. So hence they'll go for it. So let me go to this. So there is a way to generate a self-signed certificate using the JDK tool called Key Tool. Okay, so the certificates can be a Java-based key generation, okay, or JKS, which is called as JKS, and the other one is uh, PKCS. So PKCS is the um, standard which has to be followed. It is a private key cryptographic standard. It's called as PKCS. So it is advised or it is a industry standard to use PKCS. Okay, so now I want to generate this key to a location. Sorry, it's not this. Let me go to our folder under SRC main resources. Let me create a folder called key store. So now I'll have to cd spring HTTPS migration and then cd src main resources and then key store. Okay, being here, I'm going to generate a key which is called as self-signed certificate. So key tool. So I can use this because I had set a path to the bin folder of the JDK. So the bin folder will have all this utility. So key tool minus gen key pair, and then I'll have to give an alias name. Let me call it as migrate. Okay, migrate, and then key algorithm is RSA, and then key size is 2048 bytes. Okay, and then key store. What is the key store is? Key store location. So and where actual file name of the key. Let me call it as migrate, and then store type. So store type says whether it is JKS or PKCS. JKS means Java key store or it is PKCS. So it is private key cryptographic standard. Okay. I think I've done a mistake. Okay, key store, gen key pair. I think this is wrong. Okay, the store type is wrong. I think it's PKCS. Something I have done wrongly. Okay, let me quickly check that net. Yes, it's right. Okay, it's equal to. I have given equal to. So that is the reason it was wrong. Yes, now what is the password? So it will ask for all this. So now a key is generated, and if you refresh this, okay, a key store is created. Okay, so now the next step is on the application dot property, we have to give server dot SSL enabled equal to true. So it should be enabled. Okay, and then server dot port is equal to, we'll make it as 8443. Okay, and then server dot SSL dot key alias. So what is the alias name we have given? Migration. So it is migrate or migration? Migrate. So it's migrate. So let me expand this. So now server dot SSL dot key store. So the key store is class path colon key store slash migrate. You see migrate. I think I have not missed anything. So for all this is done, now you can just stop this and run the application again. Okay, it does not exist. Why? Okay, I think it should be renamed as some name. I think something is missed. Okay, let me restart again. Okay, so I haven't entered the password. So server dot SSL dot key store password is equal to, I have set it as password for demonstration. So now what will happen is, now I think it should work. Okay, so now if you see, the Tomcat started on port 8443. Okay, so now we have migrated it. So now when you go to this one, okay, it'll be no more available. Yes, it will not be available as this thing also. See here, it is HTTPS. Got it? Now the application is migrated to HTTPS. Show the same thing. Got it? Greetings. Now you can see the CSRF token also and the username also. So that's it. Thank you. If you like this video, like it. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe to it.